I'm privileged to be on the panel today with my colleagues and thankful to America's Charities for inviting me here today, but also for being a great partner with independent sector and with all of you around increasing the levels of accountability across the sector as well as transparency, two critical factors that we all need to be mindful of. So what I want to do today is talk to you a little bit about what charting impact is, give you a little bit of information about why it's important, and then also speak with you all a little bit about some tips or resources that are available to you as you contemplate completing your charting impact questions if you have not done so already, or if you have and it's time for them to be updated, then doing that as well. So kind of in this era of reduced investments from governments and philanthropy, accountability has grown in its importance. Not only are investors looking at transparency related to financial oversight and organizational governance, but they're also asking nonprofits increasingly more about their work, about the impact of their work. The availability of this critical information to funders has not been consistent across the sector, which has made it more challenging for investors to target their resources to more effective organizations. Independent sector, BBBY's Giving Alliance, Art was here earlier this morning, and GuideStar, along with others, have embraced this idea or this premise of increased level of accountability and have committed to making the case about the importance of impact measurement in building and supporting high-impact nonprofits. So what is charting impact? Charting impact is a common framework that allows staff, boards, stakeholders, donors, volunteers, and others to work together, learn from each other, and serve the community better. It complements your planning, your evaluation, and the assessments that organizations already undertake and can be used by nonprofits and foundations of all sizes and missions. So, the cornerstone of charting impact are 5 powerful questions that requires reflection and promote communication about what matters, and that's results. So the 5 questions are: what is your organization aiming to accomplish? What are your strategies for making this happen? What are your organization's capabilities for doing this? How will your organization know if you're making progress? And what have and haven't you accomplished so far? Some of the benefits or reasons why we encourage people to take on this task is that encouraging people to invest their money, time, and attention in effective organizations. We've talked about that a little bit before. It gives you an opportunity to highlight the difference that your organization makes specifically with the clients or the individuals that you work with or serve. It gives you an opportunity to sharpen your approach. You know, we don't always take that time to reflect back on what we're doing. Sometimes we're so busy doing the work that we don't take that opportunity to look back and see what's working, what's not working, whether we need to change. And it also gives you an opportunity to position your organization to work with and learn from others. Some tips for you to think about from suggested time and staff attention to this. And this has come from pilot testing that we've done and also kind of debrief sessions with organizations that have completed their charting impact reports. We recommend that you involve 5 to 6 people from all parts of your organization in answering these questions. Oftentimes, it will typically be just the senior staff who engage in these types of activities. And what you want to do is spread that throughout the organization so you get accountability and ownership from those beyond your senior leadership team. So people who are on the ground doing the work, your frontline workers and your mid-level managers can be involved and engaged and own what you all are trying to do. It's typically taken people about a period of about 2 to 3 weeks to engage in this work. And again, depending on the size of the organization, that's going to vary, but that tends to be about the average. And the pilot test suggests that it takes about 7 to 14 cumulative staff hours to do this work. Some of the materials that you'll need that we suggest you have as you consider completing these 5 questions. It's helpful to have your mission and vision statement in front of you as you go through this. If you've done a strategic plan recently, have that at the table, have that in front of you as well. Any type of logic models or theories of change that you all have engaged in or that your organizations use, very important to have that there. Program descriptions, evaluation plans, again, because we want to know what the impact of what you're doing is. Annual report, and any other helpful documents that people think may be appropriate. In the writing and review process, we recognize that each organization will have a unique process specific to their organization, recognizing different organizational size, structures, cultures, that it won't be a one-size-fits-all approach, so to speak. Discussions can happen at the senior management team level, the board of directors level, in teams and department, and before, during, and after the writing process. In your writing and review, we encourage people to be collaborative, assigning responsibility for answering each questions to different individuals. That there's some type of centralized approach, that you involve limited or multiple reviewers, and that you have this idea of a straw man before conversations versus what your full draft will look like after. And again, these are just tips that we encourage you to think about. When writing it, we ask you to consider the following things. How are your answers to each question connected to each other? Are you telling a cohesive story? What assumptions are you making in your responses? Which should you go into a little bit more detail about or explain? Include specific examples and measures where appropriate, and keep your external audience in mind. Be concise, direct, and specific. Oftentimes we will tend to write in jargon that we understand internally within our organizations. The goal for this is to speak in language that if someone is completely unfamiliar with you, they can understand your mission, vision, the programs you offer, and what you're trying to accomplish. So Lindsay talked a little bit about these pieces on charting impact, so I'm not going to go into much detail about that. I will point out for you what the charting impact report looks like. And this is an example of what a charting impact report will look like. It has the question, and then it has what an individual's answer will look like. So that you will see this report, you'll be able to download this report on the GuideStar Exchange, as Lindsay has articulated before. As a resource, what we've done at Independent Sector to support our organizations is we've created the Charting Impact Resource Center. And what this is it's a place where we provide some of the background information for people, historical perspectives. We also provide tips around completing your reports, information on the glossary and frequently asked questions, which is in your packet, an example of which is in your packet today. And also we list the member reports of IS organizations who've completed their charting impact report. So it's a way for individuals across the sector to see what other individuals, organizations are doing. It'll be an opportunity, the Charting Impact Resource Center is an opportunity to discover more information on charting impact, as indicated, the history, benefits of the report, tips, and resources for completing your report. One of the things we've been able to do, I've done a little research around, is looking at kind of common grant applications that are out there from some of our largest foundations, as well as kind of those common grant applications that exist within the Regional Association of Grant Makers. So what we've attempted to do is do a comparison to the questions that they're asked in those applications to what the corresponding charting impact question would be. So again, it makes it easier for you all if you're going to be submitting a proposal to a funder. You can get an idea of where there's connections or overlap. So again, it reduces the work you have to do as you're writing proposals if you go through this process at the beginning. So at the bottom of the page, you'll see the website, and we'll make sure that you all get this through Lynn. And also at chartingimpact.org, it's our landing page, which will present an opportunity for you to go directly to GuideStar or go directly to the Charting Impact Resource Center. So that's kind of a starting point for you, where you can access both of our websites to continue the work that you all need to do in this important effort. So thank you.
And I failed to mention that our gold level is charting impact. So by doing this, you actually reach our highest standard. So it's really exciting.